So today I decided to talk to you about what you're going to do when you've had a treatment and you hate it. You've gone along somewhere, you've had a treatment, you've asked for lip fillers, cheek fillers, tear troughs under the eyes, and it looks awful. Now, I get people coming to see me that have been and had a treatment that's not gone well, they've been somewhere else, and I've said to them, have you been back to that same practitioner? And usually the response is, I can't bear to, I can't face going back because the whole experience was traumatic and I don't want to go back there. In which case I say, okay, let's see what we can do to help you. Sometimes they've been back. I think of one particular lady who had had tear troughs done, and I think she went to a couple of different places trying to correct it, and people were dismissive of her. So sometimes the response might be, you've got swelling, what do you expect? Leave it another couple of months. Sometimes this doesn't really resolve, and it might be that the filler has been placed in the wrong place, it might be the wrong type of filler. A common one that I see is people come to me and they've got kind of sausages coming down under the eyes here because the filler's not been done properly, or say it's the wrong filler. These clients are distraught because they don't know what to do, they don't know where to go. Sometimes, I mean, if I can get any previous history and find out exactly what they've had, that's really helpful, but sometimes that information just isn't available. What we do is spend a long time talking to you about as much information you can give me about the actual treatment so that I can work out what it is that you have done, because usually it's fillers and usually they're made of hyaluronic acid. We can dissolve hyaluronic acid, we can get rid of it, we can start with a clean slate. Sometimes the place that people have been to previously, it might be that dissolving wasn't an option, but it might be somebody that's not qualified to do that. Sometimes people just want to be able to tell their story and have someone listen to them and be able to understand how they're feeling, and then I can give some options about what we can do to help. By placing filler in the right place, you can actually make filler that's been previously put in the wrong place look much better. So if, for example, somebody's a little bit heavy around here but they've got a flattening underneath, if you put some filler underneath around that, then you can blend that in, and providing it's not straight after they've had that, so there's been time for things to settle, that can then make a bad treatment actually look much better and look nice. So that might be an option. 7-8 times out of 10 you actually need to dissolve the stuff away, and that is a solution that is only available on prescription, that we would inject tiny little injections, but it will dissolve the actual filler. And I always make it very clear to people that it's not a one-stop solution. They need to come back probably for 2 or 3 appointments for us to get the result that they need. One of the reasons for that is that when you have a dissolver, it will dissolve away the filler, but at different rates in different people. So you don't maybe know exactly how much filler it is that they've had there. I don't want to put in too much dissolver so that it does the opposite and sinks right down too much so that people look horrendous. This fear that it's going to take away your own collagen as well. Well, the answer is it will probably take away a little bit of your own collagen, but we make collagen all the time, so that will actually recover. So we just want to get rid of the filler and your own collagen will then recover, and then we can start again and probably put more filler in, but place it in the right place. It has some great results. I can remember a lady that came to me. She travelled quite a long way and she'd had some treatments that she didn't like, and she'd ended up going to various different practitioners around near where she lived, each of them putting more and more filler in, and the whole thing just getting worse, so that she just didn't know what had gone wrong, that the whole shape of her face looked stretched, sort of pillow cheek effect. She just looked very, very unnatural. And that then was a process of dissolving all over in different places. And I probably didn't dissolve all of the filler, but because the filler can take up to a couple of weeks to have its full effect, you have to put a bit of dissolver in and then bring people back a couple of weeks later, have a look again, and we photograph everything so that you can see along the way what it looks like. Decide whether or not it was a little bit more dissolver that needed, and then she'd have to go away again, or whether we could actually start carefully filling to give a very natural look. And that particular lady, it was a brilliant result, and she was absolutely delighted. She felt like she'd got her face back, she'd got her back, And for me, the process probably took maybe a month with 2 or 3 appointments. She'd spent probably the year before going around getting all these different treatments that were just making the whole thing worse. Sometimes people have got lumps and bumps and things that won't settle. Again, you can dissolve them away. First of all, you might want to consider going back to the practitioner that you saw. I think that's a good first step for most people. But if you feel you just can't, or you've not got the response or the result that you want, come along and see me, come along and see somebody in your area who's experienced, they've got experience, they're medically qualified, and we'll sort it out for you. Don't just lose all faith in ever having anything done again and living with something that you hate. Come along and see somebody.